Like I never thought at 51 I was gonna be like, doing deadlifts. And then my coach is like saying to me, "Hey, Louisa, I don't think you're lifting heavier enough." And so it's just a lot more than that.
Hey, so today I have another Warrior Babe here with us, Warrior Babe Louisa, and she spent years before Warrior Babe searching for answers. She was working with trainers, she was following strict diets, she was even taking medication only to feel frustrated, exhausted, and stuck along her journey. Every program left her feeling drained. Nothing seemed to work, but then she found WarriorBabe. She found us, and everything changed. And she's healed her metabolism. She's rebuilt her strength. She's discovered what true health how that true health isn't just about workouts and macros. It's about the mindset and the emotions and breaking free from like the habits and the stories and the beliefs that have been holding her back and that hold a lot of women back. And now she's stronger, healthier, and she's here rewriting her story with us. And she's here to tell us her story on this interview today. Louisa, welcome. Excited to have you here.
Thank you, Nikki. I'm excited to be here. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course. So let's fill the listeners in on where are you from, what do you do for work, and how old are you?
So I'm 51 years old. I'm currently not employed.
Okay.
I made a big life decision last year to quit my job after 27 years
Oh man,
and to follow my dreams to become a licensed esthetician. Um,
women need more of that in the world.
I completed my certification, so I'm a licensed esthetician now. My husband and I travel back and forth from DC to Georgia because of his job.
hmm
And so now we're in Georgia, and I think we're probably going to be staying here in Georgia. So I'm in the process of getting my endorsement in Georgia so that I can practice here as well.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank
Celebrating
you.
you on that journey. It's a new season of life for you.
Yes, a big
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
I was in banking and went from banking to being an esthetician.
Girl, that takes a lot of courage. Let's go.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive into what was your like health and fitness situation? What did that look like before Warrior Babe?
So I thinking about this, I was trying to think of how far I should go back, and I said, okay, let me start in my 30s. I was doing in my 30s, I was doing Beachbody,
Mm.
and it was working. I was seeing changes. Then I got into my mid 30s, and I ended up starting to do IVF treatments. So that completely like took a toll on my body.
Heck
I
yeah, it
started,
does.
yeah, so I started seeing like a lot of changes. And in between that, I said, well, I'll do like a weight management um,
Mm.
program. So I was in a calorie deficit because Beachbody wasn't working anymore. I wasn't really going to the gym. I was just like doing, like walking or like cycling or whatever. So I did that calorie deficit and the weight came off. Looking back now, I think I lost a lot of muscle knowing what I know now. I
Mm.
lost a lot of muscle with the little bit that I was able to build during Beachbody. So it came back again. And um, at that point, then I said, okay, well, I'll hire a personal trainer. And I hired a personal trainer. Everything was like good the first maybe 3, 4, 6 months. At that point, I said, well, I want to go ahead and do like a bikini competition. Had no idea. Just like, okay, let me just put a goal out there. And then as we got closer to that 1 year mark, my coach is like, I don't think that it's going to happen, Louisa. Like, I'm not seeing the changes. Like, you're not, like, I don't think that you're ready. I said, fine, whatever. So then we started doing HIIT training. But in all of this, knowing what I know now, I wasn't fueling my body properly.
Mm.
So I was working out really hard. It was really hard to recover from my training. So I had hired them for, it was a couple. So she would train me sometimes and he would train me sometimes. I would cancel my workouts. I would find like canceling my workouts because I just couldn't like keep up with it.
Sure.
I was just really, really tired, super sore. And so I just I was stuck. Like I wasn't seeing any additional results. And then I ended up moving to DC at the time, so I had no trainer. So I said, well, let me join F45. And I joined F45. It was just like a lot of like HIIT training and my just like cardio.
Yeah.
And it ended up like I had like really bad sore back. And I was just really, really tired. So I would, in the midst of all this, I had moved to a different city, gotten a new job in the same company, but a different, different environment.
Sure.
And I just was not seeing the weight. I was just exhausted. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Can I just interrupt you to really
Yeah.
quickly? So with all of that you were doing with the training, you mentioned that you weren't like fueling your body enough. Can you talk a little bit about what did your nutrition habits look like? Like how were you eating in congruence with your workouts?
So I didn't fuel before I went to my workouts. I think I would do like pre-workouts, but the liquid stuff.
Sure.
And afterwards I would probably have like, and since if I worked out in the morning, I would have like a cup of coffee and maybe like some toast or something. And
Yeah.
that was it. Like I didn't think about protein. I didn't think about any of that. So I was crashing. I was like crawling literally towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, so at 45 didn't work. Then I said, okay, well, let me try Optavia, another calorie deficit. And it was just like I was starving. I wasn't working out at the time because the person that I was doing the program with said, well, all you can do is like really walk. You can't really like train. You can't go to the gym because you're in a calorie deficit. So I tried that for maybe like 3 months. It didn't work out at all. Um, so then I said, okay, well, let me go to an endocrinologist because I have thyroid issues, um, and see if they can like check out my hormones, see where I am, if we need to modify my medication. So they gave me a whole bunch of supplements. They said, well, just continue to go to the gym, but do keto.
Yeah.
So you're going to do keto, take the supplements, keep working out, and you'll be fine. And
Uh,
that didn't work out either. I was still like super tired, super sore, bloated, very low energy. Um,
what was the
and
most frustrating part about that? Like feeling like nothing was working.
at the time when I look back, it's like, what am I doing wrong? Like, how come? Like, what's
Mm,
wrong with my body? Why can't I do this? Like,
that breaks my heart.
because I was like following everything that especially the endocrinologist. I'm like, I'm doing what they're telling me to do, but
Yeah.
it was like everything was like a quick fix, and then I just went back to regressed, and so the weight kept piling on, and then I joined the Blueprint, and I joined like in October of 2022. um and I knew nothing about macros, like nothing. When they signed me up, they're like, have you ever heard of macros? I was like, no.
Hmm.
Am I supposed to know about this? Because I've never heard about it.
No.
But anyway, so fast forward January 2023, I said, well, I really, really need help. Like, I need somebody to hold my hand and just really, really guide me through this because I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's when I signed up for the VIP program. But before that, I forgot to mention, I was scrolling through social media and I saw you on Facebook. And I said, oh man, she's a badass. Look at her muscles.
Oh,
And then
thank
I
you.
kept you keep playing like the people that are, the women that are in the community. And I'm like, they're like me. They're like my age.
Yeah.
So if they can do it, I can do it. Like they had awesome, they changed their total body composition. When they speak about their experience, they really just feel confident. Just everything changed. So I said, I can try this. I'm going to try this. And I tried everything else. So what can I lose, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved in the Blueprint and then the VIP.
I love that. I want to unpack that like whole experience for you on how you found us and well, not scrolling through Facebook that, but like what resonated with you the most. But before I get to that chapter of your journey, I want to kind of take a couple steps back. You mentioned when I was reading through like the interview form that someone had mentioned to you that told you that you would never be able to look strong or muscular.
Mm-hmm.
That like I want to find that person and go fight them for you. It's like what the who says that? How did that belief like affect you? How did that affect your confidence?
So the I still remember to this day, the person said to me, "You're too old to build any muscle. You're too old to like do
What a
anything."
projection of an insecurity to put on someone. That is so wrong.
So yeah, um yeah, I still remember that.
Wow. Sorry if I'm getting defensive for you. I'm sorry if it's like a family member or close friend.
No, 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 no. It's somebody that's no longer in my life.
Okay. Well, how did that affect you? Like what emotions came to the surface for you during that time?
Well, at the time I was like, man, I wonder if that's true. And then I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to prove to this person that I can do this. And
Hmm.
this is when I had the coach, and that's why I said, "Oh, I want to participate in a bikini contest." That's the reason why I said that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to prove that person wrong.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so here we are, years later.
Yeah. What was your turning point? Like in that during that time, during that conversation, or maybe it was a couple days later, maybe you like started to believe it, but you didn't accept it because you were like, no, I'm going to prove this person wrong. What was a turning point where you decided that you weren't going to accept that as like your reality?
Because I don't like people to tell me something that I can't do something. I can't
So
stand it.
you're at, we would get along. You're like, you can't, someone's going to tell you it, and you're like, watch me, I'm going to go do it.
Yes, I can't stand it.
I love that. Did that make any other impact, or maybe how you were feeling with like the workouts and things that you were trying and things weren't working? Like, did that struggle impact any other areas of your life, like your relationships, your own self-worth, like anything? How did you feel during that time where you were trying, you were doing the work, you felt like you mentioned earlier you felt like something was wrong with you? Like there's so many women that feel that way. There's so many women that feel like they're strangers in their bodies, even though they're trying to do so many of the right things that are being told for them to do. They feel like they're broken. Like we've had warrior babes come to us being like something's wrong with me, but really it's like all of the shit that's out there that's telling them to do calorie deficits and eat less and overtrain. And of course, you're not going to get to where you want to be, and this takes a toll on you as a person because you think you're following all the things. How that impact like not just like what you were trying to achieve, but like that impact other areas of your life?
I think, one of the things that I've learned about myself, like in the program is like you feel guilty because you're eating, or you feel guilty because you're not going to the gym enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of it plays a really big toll on your mind of what you like, how you feel about yourself, how you look at yourself.
Yeah.
And I think in every aspect as a woman, when you go to the gym and you're like, you feel like you're not like doing a good enough job, or you're not doing it right, or people are going to criticize you, or it's just, I think there's a lot of emotions involved in that.
Yeah, totally right. It's like we need a whole episode together to unpack it all, like all the emotions that a woman experiences during that time. How about this one? You mentioned that you felt like you were at like a dead end before Warrior Babe. What did that mean to you?
So at one point I'm like, I like, why am I even going to the gym? Like,
Yeah.
why am I even doing this? So it was like almost like self-punishment. I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm not getting anywhere. I'm feeling tired. I'm not seeing any change. I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'll just eat whatever I want and not go to the gym because
Mm,
I wasn't seeing any results. I wasn't feeling happy. I didn't like putting on like clothes. Like I always covered myself because I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror.
mm,
Honestly, like when I had to take those first pictures, oh my gosh, they were so hard to take. Like
mm.
it was hard to see myself. It was the hardest thing. But one thing on that is that if you are scared to take pictures, don't be scared to take pictures, because I look back at those, and my coach has called me out on it, and I tell her, like, in my check-ins, I feel a little fluffy. Okay, Louisa, let's look at your pictures, where you were and where you are now. And by the way, you haven't been, hitting your macros, or you've been kind of like, lagging on this or that. So take your pictures. I mean, it's so scary to look at yourself, but then when you look back, it's like, holy cow. Like I did all of this, and you don't realize it, because for me it's like I was doing what coach was telling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going through I was learning along the way, as well, because it was so new to me.
Yep.
So you don't realize it until you actually like take a moment and look back
Yep.
at everything that you've actually done.
I love that you just like added that there. I think that's really important for the women listening to this because at the beginning of the journey, the pictures are the word. Like you're starting a journey for a reason, and you're given the visual right in front of your face. You have to look at it, and it's uncomfortable, and you're like, "How did I get this far?" I'm not happy with the way that I look, but to your point, it's like taking those and remembering why you started the journey 6 months later, and you can look back and be like, "Holy cow, the correlation is completely different. I'm seeing the results." And the accountability. It's like you have to take the pictures because the coach doesn't know how to work with you until she sees your body and what you look like and can really formulate a plan knowing where your muscle mass is to your fat ratio and give you a plan that's going to be optimized for you. And then on a weekly basis, those photos are accountability. It's like
Mhm.
framing the story differently, to make you
Yeah.
want to take the pictures and post them. Um, so let's go next. And is there anything else that you wanted to say there before I jumped into the next bucket?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. You mentioned that you saw me scrolling through Facebook, right? And was there anything that like resonated with you specifically that made you decide to click to learn more or to fill out the 19 question application? At that point, I think that's how many questions it was. I know it was pretty lengthy. Um, what resonated with you the most during that time?
Um, like I said earlier, what resonated with me was like the women that were on there were
Yeah.
like my age group. Um, and they were having success. They were having great results. They were feeling better. Um, they were feeling more confident. They were stronger. And that was really what made an impact for me,
Mm,
is knowing that there's women like myself out there that have gone through the struggle and have been successful with the program.
yeah.
So if they can do it, then they know I can do it. I feel like I would fit in, like it would be the place for me.
Oh, I love that. What made you say yes when you talked to one of our enrollment advisors?
Um, well, one of the things is like when I was talking to her, she's like, "So what are you doing now?" I said, "Well, I'm doing HIIT training. I'm doing this." And then she said, "Well, I think you're doing your body a disservice. You think
Mm,
you're doing a good thing." And then when I told her what I was eating, she's like, "You're like totally like under eating, and you're doing all of this." She's like, "No wonder you have no energy."
mm-hmm.
So, I knew that there was something that needed to change, because I was working out, but there was something missing in the puzzle of everything, that I wasn't doing. So that's what I like, the fact that we had workouts, but I also like the fact that we were looking at nutrition as well. Because
Yeah.
that was the one piece that I was missing when I had my personal trainer. I love them. They were great. I had a lot of fun, but I was missing that other piece, which is the nutrition, which is so, so important. Like, it's so important. It's like when I go to the gym sometimes, I look back and I think to myself, how did I even manage to do this without proper nutrition? Like, how was I even holding up for 45 minutes or whatever to an hour
Right.
of trying to do this without properly giving my body what it needed to perform of what I was asking for it to do. And then no wonder I was feeling so tired and sore. It just wasn't working. The two don't work together.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy now that from what you were doing to what you know now?
Yes,
Wild.
it's crazy for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious because you mentioned a little bit about what you were eating beforehand and then coming in knowing our approach or you were learning our approach at the beginning. What did Coach Shen do with you in terms of taking your nutrition from where you were to, I'm sure, like getting you to eat more food? And what was that process like for you?
So my first year, I would say, was about learning
Yeah.
a lot. And we were just working on healing my body. I don't think I knew that at the time. We were just working on healing my body.
Yeah.
And I was, I consider that I was pretty patient because I wasn't seeing like drastic changes, but I was feeling better. Like my clothes were feeling better. I wasn't as bloated. And she slowly started increasing my macros, and we were just kind of playing with that to see how my body would react. We didn't do like any like cuts. We did like maybe like a mini cut, but most of the time I was in maintenance. I was
Mhm.
in trying to heal the body. Um, and Jen was like so gentle with everything, she I don't think we ever mentioned, like, for me it didn't feel like I was healing, but I really was now that I look back on it. Like there's a lot of healing that takes place when you're giving the body what it needs in order to do what you're asking it to do. And then there's also a lot of mental things that happen. I feel emotional things that happen and triggers that happen. I mentioned earlier about feeling guilty because of if I had a slice of pizza,
Mhm.
or if I went out and maybe had a drink. You stay away from all that. I'm like, oh, I can do this as long as it makes sense.
Yep.
um Not that I do it all the time, but
Every
I
now
but
and
it
then, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it so I'm not like restricted and like not have the things that I enjoy and
Yeah.
punish myself or
It's
feel
almost
guilt.
like you had to like rewrite that like narrative in your mind because there was guilt around with the other programs that you did where it felt like those things were restrictive or not allowed. And then here you were like we were basically saying you can have those things if it makes sense for your
Hmm.
day and you can allow
Hmm.
things. So it's like rewriting that narrative.
Yes. So a
Wow.
lot of my first year was spent, like I said, in healing the body, learning about macros.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first several months were really, really hard in like navigating how to do my fitness pal, what to do as far as my meals, weighing everything. And
Yeah.
now sometimes I play like a little game. I'll say, well, I think this is this many grams. And I'm like, oh, I got it. So, it's a lot of learning, I would say, the first year.
Mm-hmm.
um but it's needed in order to get to where you want to be. It's like the stepping stone of where you're where what your goals are. In order to get there, we have to do this because this is crucial, because this is the learning point, this is the healing point, this is the mental shift point of
Yeah.
you know unlearning old habits, unlearning ways of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still learning.
Yeah, yeah, totally. What's cool about that I love to hear you and as you explain it as the healing period is you recognizing that you couldn't continue to do more of what you were doing because it wasn't getting you to the results that you wanted to. So you openly accepted, okay, I'm going to eat more food. I'm going to eat at maintenance for a good portion of a year, you mentioned, and knowing that that's healing your body and even though you may not see tons of changes, you know that internally your body's healing from all of the years that you didn't fuel it enough or you're doing too much cardio and you were taking that time to set the stage for the next thing that you were going to do with us, whether it be a cut or maintenance or whatever you went into next, which I'll ask you that in a little bit. But I love that you mentioned that it was a healing period for you and you recognize it as that.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that You thought Warrior Bay was just going to be like nutrition and workouts?
Yes,
Yeah. And but it ended up to be so much more.
it is a lot more.
Yeah, what
It
was the
is.
biggest surprise to you about that, about the
It's
program?
so much more. Like when we have our huddles, we talk about a lot of mindset, a lot of, breaking old habits. Even in our group chats, we share a lot about our struggles, and things that, we go through as women. And now I'm going through starting menopause. So there's a whole bunch of emotions that go through that, your body and
Yeah.
mentally. So Warrior Babe does such an amazing job at supporting you, not only with your coach, not only with your group or in the Facebook community, but like the calls, the podcasts that you do,
Mhm.
um, education on so many different things. Uh, Now you're doing stuff on meditation, like that's so important.
Mhm.
Um, And so all of that affects us physically because I feel like, it affects us on the things that we do physically. If we're not like the basics, not getting enough sleep, not eating, not mentally on the right track or emotionally on the right track, it's going to hinder everything else that we're trying to do in our lives.
Yeah.
So, um, it's not just about working out and macros. It's so much more. And I just I want people to know that because it's so important.
Oh, I love that. That's what we strive to be within this space. What, from everything that you tried, maybe this is similar to the answer that you just gave me, but I'm curious,
Mhm.
what made Warrior Babe different from all of the other programs that you tried to do before you found us?
Um, it's a big community, but at the same time with the coach, it's so personable. Um, my coach has modified my workouts, my macros based on where I am in life. Like,
Mm.
last year when I quit my job, I was going to school full time. I'm older, so it's hard for me to, going back to school and learning such, different things and things like that. So we talked a lot about where I needed, how I needed to my workouts to look like, what I needed my macros to look like because I was busy and I was, my brain and my body was under a lot of stress just taking in all of this new information and navigating through the change of not doing what I was doing before.
Yeah.
um and so you know sh- we would look at different things of where I was and what we needed to do to not add additional stress on me. How was I sleeping? What did I need my workouts to look like? Did I like I think at one point Jen wrote my workouts and I'm like, I need my workouts to be exactly 45 minutes. And she's like, she started laughing. She goes, why 45 minutes? I said, because I have this much time to work out and then go to school. And I like to do my workouts in the morning because I just feel so much better.
Yeah.
And so even to that point, and I spent a lot of time in maintenance, honestly, because it wasn't the right time to do anything else. So
Mhm. Can I actually go back to the last question? Did maybe it was just me? It's hard sometimes to pick it up through a computer. Did that question get you a little emotional with like how it's so much more?
yes.
Why?
Oh my gosh, Nick, you're gonna make me cry.
I'm sorry. I saw it and I didn't want to let it go and I just wanted to circle back to it. But hey, this is what makes it so beautiful.
Yes, it is. It's so much more than that. It's more than just working out and learning how to eat healthier.
What is it to you? What's so much more about it?
Um, it's just letting go of old beliefs of things that you thought that you had to be or you couldn't be, you
Hmm.
know? Like I never thought at 51 I was going to be like, doing deadlifts. And then my coach is like saying to me, "Hey, Louisa, I don't think you're lifting heavier enough." And so it's just a lot more than that. It's I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cry.
No, please, this is a safe space, girl. Like I'm here with you. I
So
hear you. Yeah.
I think that for those people or those women that are not in the community, it would be hard for them to understand. Um, but I guarantee you that you will understand if you join the community. And those of us that are have been in the community now for a while, or even a year, or even 6 months, truly understand when I say that this is not a program that is just a workout and nutrition. It's so much more than that. It's like
Mhm.
it forces you to like really take a deep look in the mirror and ask yourself, like, who do you want to be? Like, forget about who you were or who you thought you were or who people told you you were. Like, who do you want to be? Who cares about what people think? Write your story, set your goals, connect with your coach, lean on your community, listen to the education that we have in the community, and just take ownership. It's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just, on top of the world. That's not life. But you're going to be able to listen to your body, listen to your emotion, and sometimes even talk yourself out of like just the most negative thing in your mind. And it can be just from like when you wake up in the morning and feeling like crap and telling yourself, you know what? I hear this a lot too. Like you get to go work out because some people can't do that. Um, and sometimes you just have to give yourself grace and say, you know what? You deserve a break. But, don't sit there too long because you got to think about what your plans are and what your goals are and who that person that you want to be
Mm,
is. And you owe it to them.
I got chills. You're my hero, Louisa. You're my hero. That's beautiful. And it takes a lot of like awareness to see that it's not about who you are right now. It's about the person that you're wanting to become, and that person's going to need to show up a little bit differently. And she's also got to put, the blinders on and the earplugs in to the people that don't get why you're doing what you're doing, because this is your journey and you're the only one that really understands that mentally. But then what I love and what was beautiful and what you said earlier too about the community is like when women join or look or seek out something like this, there's not a lot of belief because it's kind of been like trampled on from the things that you've done and tried before. And so it's almost like you're not just buying into the workouts and the fitness and like the nutrition, like you're saying, it's like you're buying into the belief that somebody has on the other side, like Jen or the coaches or your community of women that are in this too as well, that maybe have been here a little bit longer. Like I'm sure you being in the program for longer have watched a newer person come in. It's like 4 or 3 months, or maybe it's just their first week that you've been able to like pour into them, be like, I have the belief that you can do this too as well. And it's like a trickle effect. So
Mhm.
to your point of like women won't know it until they're in it, it's like it's very valid. Like you don't really know until you're in it and you're surrounded by the energy of the belief that is getting poured into you by your coach or the women on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for getting emotional. I love that shit. I love that. It brings out the rawness in a conversation. It brings out the realness behind the human, and like everybody has their own experience, and we all feel that on so
Hmm.
many levels.
Yes.
Yeah. So, where are you now in your journey with Jen? Like you did the healing for the year. Now where are you guys at? What's the focus point?
So we started talking last year, late last year, about what I wanted to do and accomplish this year. And we started off with a build.
Mm.
So I'm going to build.
Let's go. How you feeling about that?
Well, it's funny you are asking about that because I had my check-in
Yeah.
with Jen, and I love her. I love my community. I love Jen. And she called me out. She says, all right, Louisa. I'm gonna have to give you some tough love. What am I gonna have to tell you that you can lift heavier? You're stronger than you think. So she literally pulled up my numbers and she's like, "This is what you've been doing for the past 3 weeks. I need you to get back to me. I need you to think about this and get back to me. I need to know what's preventing you, what's causing that fear." And
Mm.
so, I did a lot of like uh dig deeping, and I said, "Well, Jen, I can't ask anybody, to spot me or my back or this. I want you to check my form." So anyway, I got to the gym this morning and I said, "I'm going to show her. I'm going to send her a video and I'm going to show her." And so I did, and she says, "I'm really proud of you. You stepped it up, but I think you can do more. You're not even like, you're not, there's like no hesitation in you lifting that bar, Louisa." And so I promised her that I'm going to push myself to my limits, and um she says, even if you just do like 5 reps, you have to show yourself like what you're capable of doing and really believe. And I said, "Well, I don't like asking for help because I'm at the gym. I don't want to ask anybody to help me lift or spot." She's like, "It's okay to ask for help. It's
Yep.
okay to ask for help." Now that I'm talking about that, that's one of the other things that I've learned. It's like, it's okay to ask for help. You're not weak if you ask for help. But yeah, she definitely called me out on it, and so we're gonna be working through that. Um,
I love that. That's how'd that feel to get that type of honesty from your coach?
um, well, I needed to hear that. If
Mhm.
she didn't do that, I was gonna be doing the same thing that I
Yep.
was doing because I was comfortable. And one of the things that she said, your body's not going to change unless you push it. But if you keep doing the same thing, we're not going to see results. And we both know what your goals are. We both know you love going to the gym. We both know you're dedicated, but I need to see more. I
Mm.
need to see you push yourself. And I need and one of the things that she always says, "I believe in you." So, with that being said, there's times that she sees what I don't see,
Yep.
and she makes you like dig deeper. It's not to like stir up emotion or get you upset, or it's to really help you like have a thought process of, why am I doing this? Why am I not doing this?
Mhm.
What's stopping me from doing this? So
Mhm.
I love that, because if
Yeah.
she didn't do that, then I wouldn't have pushed myself, and I'm going to continue to push myself, and I'll send her more videos with higher weights
Heck yeah.
and show her.
You need somebody like that in your corner. Yeah, you show
Yes.
her. That's right.
She'll be hearing this and she'll like, "Okay, well, show me, Louisa."
Let's go, Jen. Keep pushing her. So, what else are some of your top achievements?
Um, so obviously gotten stronger. I've done mini cuts. Um, I've, one of the things that I mentioned to Jen is like, I don't feel self-conscious when I go to the gym anymore. Like, they could be
Mm.
like guys there, and I was so afraid to go to where like the bench was and all the
Mm.
free weights were.
So valid. Resonate
And
with that.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but like, I have a plan. And I won't be afraid to be like, "Are you done with that?" Like, because I need to use it.
Hell yeah. How many more sets do you got? How many more reps do you have? Because
And like, whereas before I would be like, "Well, I guess I'm not going to do that today because,
oh, look
somebody
at
else
that
is using it."
confidence. Let's
So,
go.
that's one of the things that I've noticed. Like, I love going to the gym. It's like in the morning, that's like what starts my day. It sets tone for the day. And I'm confident. Like, I put my earpods on. I either listen to music, and I was listening to Unstoppable today when I was doing my deadlifts, by the way.
Let's go.
I'll put it on replay, replay, replay. I'm like, I need to listen to this. Today's the day.
Heck
And
yeah.
so, yeah, so that's one of the things that, that I noticed about myself. Like, I'm more confident at the gym.
I love that. What does it feel like to look back and see all that, how far you've come?
It feels really good. it feels amazing because, you know, like I never thought that I would be where I am now. Like I'm eating a lot of food, more than I ever have
And at
in my
51, that's crazy.
life. I'm going through premenopause. Um and I feel stronger. I have more energy, more even clarity, and like um I sleep better. That was one of the things. I did the hormone testing that you had offered,
Mhm.
with Dr. Cabral.
Mhm.
And, we worked through some things, treat some things with Jen on that. So I'm sleeping a lot better. Um, so it feels great. It feels great to feel like so empowered and confident and not be afraid to go into the gym by myself and do what I got to do and go home and just have a great day, have a great start to my day.
I love that so much. What about if you never made a change? Where do you think you'd be today?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the other day my husband and I went to Lowe's, and he's like, "Well, I'll carry that bag of mulch." I would never be able to carry that bag of mulch.
Oh, I love that visual.
I forgot to tell Jen that because we went, and I'm like, "Oh, that's okay. Just hold the cart. I'll carry it." He's like, "Holy shit. You
Let's
carry."
go. Oh, I love that.
And he's always teasing me. He's like, "Come on, you're a warrior, babe. I know you can do it." So that's one thing too, that you have to have also the support. And it's good to
Mhm.
have that support. If you don't, well, like you said, it's your story, but it's nice to have that support as well. But
Totally.
back to your question, if I had never done this, I would probably be feeling really crappy, especially with everything that my hormones are going through now, of starting, a different phase of my life as, premenopausal.
Mhm.
Um, I probably would have never quit my job and done what I took a leap of
Oh.
faith. I don't believe I would have been able to do that. I don't. And the reason that I say that is, one of the things that I've learned in the Warrior Babe journey is, you know, it's okay to fail. It's okay
Mhm.
to ask for help. It's okay to trust. And if you don't succeed, at least you tried.
Amen. Love that.
So,
That's some great
um,
advice.
um, so yeah, a lot changed. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you should be so proud of your journey, Louisa. It's really cool to like hear this story and more too, just hearing like the real raw, like honest side of things of where you were before, middle, and where you are now and what you've accomplished. It's really cool.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
As we wrap up today, is there anything else that you wanted to share before I ask like, a couple final questions and then we close the interview down?
I would say, if you're thinking about joining Warrior Babe, um, it's an investment, not only, like I said, on your physical, but on your mental and emotional,
Mm-hmm.
well-being. Um, there's a lot of things that we learn in the program as far as navigating life in general. Um, it's funny to think about it that way because, um, when you're working out and, you say, well, I can't do this much weight. And you start, like you said, you start talking, and, you think about maybe what one of your peers said, or your people in your group, the ladies in your group said about what they did and how they overcome that. And you think about that, or maybe something that someone said in your podcast, or something you said, or
Mm-hmm.
something somebody posted in the community, and it just kind of, it helps you get through that. But definitely it's an investment on yourself, and it's more than just a workout and macros. It's so much more. It's
Mm-hmm.
so much more.
Oh, I love that. What would you say to someone that's listening that feels like they tried everything and they still aren't seeing results?
Don't give up. This is a
Mm-hmm.
place. I almost gave up, and I'm glad that, of the day that I came across your your video, and I picked up the phone and I called, and I didn't know what to expect. I knew nothing about macros. I didn't know if I was going to be able to work out at the gym by myself because I was used to having a coach by my side and helping me navigate through that. Um, but it's not, I'm going to say it's not easy when you begin. You feel like, oh my gosh, it's a lot, but
Mm.
just take it one step at a time. One step at a time, don't overwhelm yourself with like, I want to go ahead and, lose 20 pounds. It's not about that. It's about taking baby steps to really, really heal from the inside out.
Wow. This is very inspiring and very motivational, Louisa. You're hearing your entire story, and I just thank you for sharing that and breathing life into the listeners that are listening to this. Because just like we said at the beginning, one person's life could be changed by this, and this is a beautiful evolution of where you were before to where you are now, and it's proof, you guys, if you're listening, as you're listening to this, that Louisa's story is showing you guys you're never too far gone to take control of your health, to take control of your life. Like you were told that you would never gain muscle. Look at you now, and that perimenopause is going to hold you back, or this stage of life is going to hold you back, or that your metabolism is going to just continue to work against you, and this is just what it's supposed to be. But you didn't settle for that. You didn't settle for those limitations, and neither for anybody listening to this, neither should you guys. Like, if you know you can do it, I mean, you may not have like 100% belief, but maybe filling the gap of you have 50%, the other 50% is in the program of WarriorBabe. So, and you guys can, rewrite your own story just like Louisa did. So if that's you, take the step, go to WarriorBabe.com, check it out. You might surprise yourself. Louisa, thank you for being here and sharing that story. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it.